Maslow is a theorist, and I don't want to get into whether right or wrong. He just talked about need hierarchy, stuff from physiological needs to self-esteem to self-actualization and all that. And then we were examining this with young minds. What is need and where does it come from? And don't look at only about money. So the objective was just don't look at careers as only money-making machines. There are other needs in the hierarchy as well. And somewhere back in my mind, this was lurking fear that am I doing the right thing? It's always that you are giving your best
Yes,
your life to that young man.
there is a problem with that pyramid.
Yeah.
What the pyramid puts in the last must
First
come
thing.
in the first. Self-actualization must be the first, it cannot be the last. And when you operate from a point of self-actualization, then all your other needs are taken care of.
In fact, we said it. We say it in the way that we say it's a slice of cake. In a cake, you want everything. You want the cherry, you want the sponge, and you also want the nut. Don't look at first
Yes.
I get the
Yes.
base and then I get something.
So
I don't know whether we say it the right way, but this is just the way we
they
say
must,
it to them.
kids, be it kids or be it grown-ups, we all are kids. We all must feel the freedom to operate freely in fullness. So I am all right, and then I am painting. I am not painting because painting will fulfill me. I am painting because I am fulfilled. Now this sounds a little unbelievable because usually we do anything only out of need. In our usual life, we move, act only to get something, only because there is a certain requirement. But existentially, things are not this way. The most beautiful acts happen when you are not craving, when you are not under the pressure to achieve. So it must be made known to kids that there is no great need to make a beautiful painting, and then the painting that is made is beautiful, even though it may not be called beautiful in a social sense. Others may not call it beautiful, but if it is arising from your lightness, your joy, then that is proof enough that it is beautiful. In this again the ego will ask, from where will sustenance come? What about bread and butter? Don't let that question become too important. That is faith. Bread and butter will come. Just as you were born, just as you are breathing, just as your heart beats, do all these happen out of your volition, your planning? Similarly, bread and butter too will come. From where will bread and butter come? From the same place from where oxygen comes. How will I earn? How will I have a house? Just as you have teeth and a tongue. How will I have food? Just as you have intestines. Food and the intestines are one. The source from where the intestines are coming is also the source from where food comes. Can there be intestines without food? Why do you think that intestines will be there but food will be so hard to get? They are together, are they not? Do you find cattle where there is no grass? Does that happen? Do you find cattle in Siberia? The food and the eater of the food are always found together, are they not? The one who produces you produces your food along with you. That is why if there is ice and no grass, then you too will not be there if you are a cattle, if you are a cow or a rabbit. But this cannot be logically proven. The fellow will say, what if there is a drought? What if someone takes all the grass away? What if other cattle are too strong and I'm not competitive enough? What if I love a piece of grass and someone steals it? So all those questions will,
All hypothetical.
they are all hypothetical.
We come from such humble backgrounds, the kids that we talk to come from such humble backgrounds that their aspirations are all about proving something with the parents, financially just getting there. That to just talk like this, and it's not that I know it from experience, and having lived a life, I can share those experiences, and those stories help because I relate from your own experience. I can't talk down to them. No, have faith. So the struggle is, the challenge is there with them when we talk like this, and it's just that in our own way we try and do things which we try to say that these are all stories in your head, and the world is not such a dangerous place, and understand that but the space I am coming from is my own experiential reality.
Yes.
And just to put it in their own, in their soul, heart and mind, all this in a workshop session and in a samvad way, I don't know that they get it.
Teachers in Advait, we all face the same problem because the students that we deal with, many of them are also from very modest backgrounds. And they get irritated, they even get furious. They say, this one thing is what we want, the material, the progress. And you are saying it is not needed. You are saying it is not needed only because you have enough of it. You have had enough of it and now you are denying me that. So they even get angry. That happens. You know what convinces them, if at all? Not the argument, but the endeavor to reach out to them. It happens that they sense that what this fellow is talking is surely nonsense. But had it been total nonsense, he wouldn't have been coming again and again to me with such compassion. The very fact that I keep on rebutting, denying, escaping, rejecting, and still he comes the next day and still he smiles and says, no, please believe, there is something beautiful. He will not know what that beauty is, but he will know that there is this living proof standing here and he is continuously asserting something. Now he will not know what he is trusting, but faith will slowly sprout in his heart. I'm surely not saying that it happens in every case, but in a few cases it happens. He will come and say, sir, you talk nonsense, but I still like you. That is the kind of reproachment that happens.
Is that enough though? Is that enough?
Depends on the depth of love. Depends on how much you want to do for them. You'll have to do a lot.
It doesn't seem enough.
It's never enough. Never enough. It totally depends on the compassion that you can.
Some of them come back and say their own personal stories have helped us. Heart to heart. Come back and say the examples you have taken from your life, they will remain with you. For me, that is just
Yes.
good enough for me to continue.
Yes. And you said something very beautiful. You cannot preach. You cannot say that this is the right thing and you must follow. It is like love. He has all the right to reject you. When you are proposing to someone, even if your proposal is a totally honest proposal, still the one you are proposing to has all the right to reject you, and he may reject you 10 times, 100 times. It depends on the depth of your love, how many times you keep coming back. Even that humble kid surely has all the right to reject your advice. And with us, Sandeep ji and Advait, we share what you are saying. It happens so often. I have returned from the Samvad sessions frustrated any number of times, having received total rejection, total rejection. It is just that I am thankful that I have been able to mostly go back, that rejections have not broken the resolve. And it is never enough. You can keep going back, keep going back. You are fighting, the weight of total ignorance and suffering of mankind. So even the best that you can do, you may devote your entire life, your total energy, even that is not going to be sufficient. I say to Kundan, this is a battle that we know we cannot win, and that is why we must fight it playfully. We know we will be defeated at every step, so let's rather be light about it. We know we cannot win. Huh?
You cannot affect change.
It will never be complete.
You cannot make the transformation. That's what.
As we said, it will never be enough. Never.
The gap is too much.
And no, it is not that the gap is definite either. However much you advance, the gap remains that much only. You can never say that a full stop will ever come. If you are able to lift,
Is this a feeling that you get from the center?
yes,
Or
yes,
that there is always going to be this
yes, yes, yes,
play of life?
yes, yes. You can tell yourself that the stopping line has come and you need not do any more. But that would just be like consoling yourself. The stopping line keeps receding further and further away. Maya is they say the very daughter of Brahma. You cannot beat her so easily. She will remain.
Better to make friends.
She will remain. And when you know this, then you get the courage to keep moving. Otherwise, shocks will break you down. You will say, I have achieved the objective, and next day when you will go, you will find that what you had built with such confidence and certainty has been brought down, and that will totally kill you, disappoint
One more
you.
thing is important. I don't think it's the numbers. See, what happens is, when you're going with that much gap to start, I've been working very much similar principle all my life. Even if you can influence a few of them, that is enough. I think you can't talk of a majority of them have, benefited. That few in turn, then it becomes a multiplier effect somewhere.
I'll take what you are saying and what you just said together. The change that you are trying to bring outside is actually the distance that you are trying to cover within. And it is never enough. Brahma means that which is ever expanding. So you can never reach the limit. And it is not in sorrow that you say this.
When you say there is no end to development. Let's say what I was referring was transformation of humankind. It's
No.
something like Sri Aurobindo's supramental new age.
See, transformation only means change of form. Form will still be there. So transformation is such a weak and silly word. Very silly word. Transformation is anyway happening. All the time. What use is the transformation? Forms keep changing, that is transformation.
Transformation in the consciousness of
Consciousness would still remain, right? And
Yes,
consciousness is division. Consciousness,
higher levels of consciousness from the mass, let's say, from the
sir, consciousness means you are perceiving the world, right? That is when you say you are conscious. When you are able to say that this is a pillar, this is the floor, this is the hut, that is the light bulb, then you say I am conscious. If you can't say all these things, then you are not conscious, right? So consciousness itself means separation. To talk of higher levels of consciousness is nonsense.
let's not stuck on the words now.
No, because when you are
enlightened, let's say, more people will realize their true.
what do you mean by more people? When you are
like mass?
no, when you are saying more people, you are again depending on your consciousness. It is only, do you see more people when you are deeply asleep?
No.
You see more people only when this mode of consciousness is functioning. Do more people really exist? That is what I am saying. When you start,
Let's not stick in the words.
no, we have to, because your very foundation is that the world needs transformation. When
Why
you're
would you go to schools? And,
that is
say
what I have been saying all along, because some acts do not happen for a reason.
Why were you saying this fight we're going to lose?
Sir, do you understand this? This why can come only from consciousness. Faith means you are acting without a why, without a need, without a reason, without the hope of getting something. First of all, you have to understand what consciousness is before you start talking of higher consciousness. I do not know what this is and I am talking of that. Does that make sense? First of all, what is consciousness? Consciousness means there is a world outside. That is consciousness. Consciousness means there is a world outside and I am different from that world. And if I am different from that world, then there is always incompletion. The world will always be attractive or threatening or meaningful, because the world is so vast and I am so small. So consciousness itself means suffering. Any kind of transformation in consciousness would still mean suffering. That is why whosoever has ever known has never talked of transformation of consciousness. They have always talked of dissolution of consciousness. And that is not in the future. That is not something that you can become. That is right now. You will not evolve into a Superman. We had begun our talk by talking of that. Trying to become a Superman is no different from trying to become the President of United States. Both are just aspirations, normal aspirations of a conscious mind. And that is the suffering of mankind.
Now, coming back to what you said, that we're going to lose this battle.
Yes. Please understand what is meant by loss.
Which battle? Like which?
There is the self, there is that which we call as you and me. This is unsettled, restless, peaceless. It is trying to come to a certain centeredness, which you and I both know, which you and I both call as peace. The thing with this center is that this center is a very dynamic center. It is not like the center of a circle where you can start from the periphery and come to a fixed center. This center keeps moving. The circle keeps widening. You can never fully get it. And that is not a sorrow. Losing this battle is a joy. It is like saying that what I am getting is so big that I can never really contain it. That the more I get, the more is my thirst to get more. And hence I can never reach the finishing line. This is the battle I am talking of as a lost battle. There is an immensity, and that immensity, because it is infinite, can never be fully attained, achieved, contained. Are you getting it? So in spite of it being full, it keeps getting full and full and fuller. Now that is a contradiction, because if it is already full, how can it get fuller? And that is why the battle will keep getting lost, because we do not know how to deal with contradictions. When you do not know how to deal with it, just surrender. That is faith. Are you getting it? A spiritual quest cannot have a goal. Material quest can have a goal. You can say that you want to go there and pick that cup and come back. And when that happens, you will say task accomplished. Right? You can go there, pick that and come back, and then you will say done, finished, battle is won. In the spiritual sense, this can never happen, because that is large, and when you pick it, it becomes even larger, and that is your joy. It is like you went to pick a small cup, and when you picked it, you found that it is larger than you thought, and when you tried to lift it, it became even larger. Now that is joy, because you are getting more and more. Even in this defeat lies a victory. In this very defeat, in losing this battle, there is continuous victory. So do not think of this defeat as something gloomy. It is not sorrow. It is like being defeated by your beloved. There is no sorrow in it. The ego wants to win. In this case, remember, you can never win. The one who is calling you, the one who is your goal, is so large that only he will win. You will not win. You will dissolve into him. He will not dissolve into you. So you will be a continuous loser.
We have multiple books of scripture, so it's continuous. As you say, it keeps expanding. Field of knowledge.
No, it is not field of knowledge. It is not field of knowledge. Knowledge is not what is the goal of the spiritual quest. We like knowledge because knowledge is something which makes us feel I know.
No, you transcend knowledge to become divine.
No, not you don't become divine.
No,
you
but-
don't transcend
no,
knowledge.
To go to a divinity, that's fine. But the point is that,
Not even that, you don't go to divinity.
yeah,
No.
no, you have to transcend all these things. All your
No.
desires, your ambition, the whole lot. How is surrender possible if you carry on with your? See, there has to be aspiration. There has to be some rejection of lower thought. Then only you can ready for it. Surrender doesn't mean anything by itself.
It
Who do
means
you surrender?
everything only by itself. When surrender is related to this and that, then it only becomes an act in convenience. Surrender means directly looking. I allow the false to drop by itself. I have no role to play in that, and that is honesty. If I have a role to play, then it would be prejudiced.
Then you reach the stage of prapti.
Huh?
That is the stage of prapti. You know, when
No, you
have
don't reach
tried,
that stage.
karma,
You
have
don't
tried
reach
jnana
that
and-
stage, sir. You begin from that stage. If the aspiration is to reach that stage, then that stage will never be. You begin from that stage. That is, basic honesty is to begin from samadhi. To reach samadhi, the sutra is to begin from samadhi.
That's right. That's what.
Beginning from incompletion. Kindly note, beginning from incompletion you can never reach completion if your basic assumption is I am incomplete or something is missing or I am at a lower level. Then you are beginning from incompletion. Beginning from incompletion, you will remain incomplete. To reach completion, begin from completion.
But this is a case that we all begin from completion.
We all?
We all begin, like
Yes.
everybody's
Yes, yes,
spiritual
yes.
journey, whatever,
Yes,
they
see.
start
Right.
from ignorance.
Yes. So this is now an honest statement.
This is true.
This is, yes, so this is an honest statement. It is surely, because you have referred to the truth of mankind that we all live in
Ignorance.
incompletion and ignorance, right? Can you make an honest, now wait, stay with this. Can you make an honest statement without the blessings of the complete? Is honesty possible from a point of incompleteness? You are saying that we all live in incompletion, right?
Yes.
And that is
There
an,
ignorance. Yes.
that is where there is ignorance and disease and suffering and the rest of everything, right? Can you acknowledge that without honesty?
No.
No. Can an incomplete mind have honesty?
No.
So when you are acknowledging that we all are incomplete, you are already complete. Incompleteness lies.
Completion is here.
Huh?
Completion is here.
Ah.
But
But
there are layers of ignorance obscuring it.
yes, where?
And we all start
Yes.
from that.
And you acknowledge those layers not when you are sitting in those layers. The mere acknowledgement, honest acknowledgement, continuous acknowledgement means that you are sitting here. And that is spirituality. The layers will remain. You keep seated here. Now, even though the layers are there and hence the battle is not yet won, but still you are a winner. The layers are there, so the battle is still not won, but because you are seated here, so you are still a winner. Keep acknowledging the falseness, keep acknowledging the falseness. And acknowledgement of falseness does not mean that you are, firing at it or trying to blast it. It only means that you are now not calling the false as true. That is what is meant by acknowledging falseness. That false is false. False is not true. And when you can say that the false is not true, then you are in the true. That is spirituality. The only mistake you can ever make is calling the false as true. Do not keep making that mistake. The false is false. You just said we all are incomplete, and that is the false.
We all start from incompletion.
We all have.
Let's say we all cognate from it. We come complete. We become incomplete.
You do not
because
come. Whatever comes will come incomplete. No, you do not come anywhere.
Hey. Yeah.
You do not come anywhere. Because if you come.
This body is born complete.
No. Even to say that this body is born, you have to operate from
The
consciousness.
body is born.
Now wait.
That's it.
Do you say that, again I'm asking, do you say that when you are deeply asleep? Will you say that you are a born being?
No, the body. Not the being.
Wait.
The body.
Even the being, whatever you may say, will you say that when you are not in this state of consciousness?
No.
You will not say that, right? You will not say that. So whatever you are saying about the body is just this particular state of consciousness. It has no gravity to it. Don't call it a serious matter. Yes, the body appears. Just as it appears to you, it appears to me also. But I will not say it is born, it will die, and it needs to reach somewhere. It's happening, it's all right. Fine, okay. Do not think the mind can do what it can never do. The mind will always be limited and incomplete. You remain in your completion. The layers will always be layers of dust. They will never become layers of gold. You remain here. and here is not born. It does not come, and it cannot transform into Superman.